Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Strike Point Media channel. If you're passionate about in-depth analysis of global conflicts and their pivotal moments, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button on your way in. Today, we're dissecting an event that has fundamentally reshaped the modern battlefield, a moment where the rules of engagement were rewritten not by a grand army, but by ingenuity and audacity. We're talking about the turning point of the war, Ukraine's stunning ability to strike deep into the very heart of Russia. For years, the conflict felt contained to Ukraine's soil, a brutal war of attrition where cities like Mariupol and Bakhmut bore the brunt of the destruction. The world watched, supplied weapons for defense, and braced for a long, grinding stalemate. But then, something changed. Drones began falling on airfields in Engels, hundreds of kilometers from the front lines. Explosions rocked fuel depots in Rostov, and even the symbolic towers of Moscow's skyline were suddenly vulnerable. This wasn't just a tactical shift, it was a psychological earthquake that proved no sanctuary was safe, turning the invaders' territory into a potential battlefield. This strategic gambit, this bold reach into the interior of a nuclear power, is what we're breaking down today. The exterior of this new phase of warfare is defined by distance and denial. We are no longer looking solely at the muddy trenches of the Donbas or the shattered urban landscapes of Kharkiv. The theater of operations has expanded to encompass vast swaths of Russian territory, from the oil refineries of the Krasnodar region to the military airbases that house strategic bombers like the Tu-95 and Tu-160. The physical landscape of these attacks is often industrial or military. Long-range aerial shots show plumes of black smoke rising from sophisticated infrastructure, symbols of Russian military and economic power suddenly appearing vulnerable. This exterior shift is monumental. It moved the conflict from a regional battle over territory to a demonstration of profound strategic reach. The very geography that Russia once considered its secure rear area, a safe space from which to launch missiles and manage logistics, was suddenly exposed. The visual of a drone, a relatively inexpensive piece of technology, traversing hundreds of miles to strike at the core of Russian capability, is a powerful testament to how warfare has evolved. It's a stark, smoky silhouette against the sky, proving that in the 21st century, defensive lines can be redrawn with code and courage, reaching far beyond the traditional front. Stepping inside the strategy behind these deep strikes reveals an interior world of breathtaking complexity and scale that is far bigger than most people realize. This isn't just about launching a few drones towards a capital. It's about orchestrating a sophisticated, multi-layered campaign that targets the central nervous system of the Russian war machine. The interior planning involves vast intelligence networks, both electronic and human, working to identify critical nodes within Russia's military, industrial complex. We're talking about painstaking satellite imagery analysis to understand the layout of an airbase, signals intelligence to track aircraft movements, and on-the-ground information to pinpoint the most vulnerable spots in a refinery's labyrinth of pipes and storage tanks. The operational interior is a world of digital maps, secure communications, and relentless data crunching to plot flight paths that evade the world's most dense air defense networks. The scale is immense, requiring not just military precision, but also industrial-level innovation, as Ukraine adapts and modifies everything from Soviet-era jets to commercially available drone components to create these long-range strike assets. This interior effort is a monumental undertaking of coordination between Ukraine's security services, military commands, and its vibrant defense tech sector, all operating in the shadows to project power across a continent. It's a vast, unseen machine whose only visible output is the fireball over a Russian airfield, but whose inner workings are a masterpiece of modern asymmetric warfare. The performance of this new Ukrainian strategic capability has been nothing short of revolutionary, delivering a devastating impact that far exceeds the simple tonnage of explosives used. The primary metric of performance here is not just the physical damage, though the destruction of valuable aircraft, the degradation of refining capacity, and the disruption of logistics have been significant. The real performance is measured in psychological and strategic terms. Each successful strike performs a critical function. It shatters the myth of Russian impunity and security, forcing the Kremlin to reallocate precious air defense systems from the front lines to protect its own interior, thereby relieving pressure on Ukrainian troops. The performance is seen in the soaring insurance costs for Russian energy companies, the long lines at gas stations, and the global image of a superpower that cannot secure its own core territory. These strikes have performed a crucial role in leveling the playing field, demonstrating that Ukraine can impose a cost on Russia's decision to go to war, a cost that is felt not just by its soldiers, but by its economy and its national psyche. The return on investment is staggering. A drone costing a few $1,000s can force the redeployment of a multi-million-dollar S-400 system, creating a debilitating economic and military asymmetry that works heavily in Ukraine's favor. When we talk about safety features in this context, we're discussing the built-in deniability and risk mitigation that allows Ukraine to execute these audacious strikes without triggering a catastrophic escalation. The primary safety feature is the type of weaponry used, predominantly unmanned aerial vehicles. By using drones, Ukraine maintains a crucial layer of plausible deniability and avoids the direct loss of pilots, which would be a significant political and human cost. Furthermore, the strikes are meticulously planned to maximize military and economic impact while minimizing as much as possible civilian casualties. This is a critical safety feature for Ukraine's moral standing and international support. By targeting energy infrastructure tied to the military and airbases, they can argue they are striking legitimate targets of war, not engaging in terrorism. Another key safety feature is the gradual escalation in range and targets, carefully testing Russian red lines and the international community's tolerance. This calibrated approach has allowed them to push the boundaries without, so far, provoking a nuclear or all-out response, effectively creating a new norm of acceptable deep strike warfare. It's a high-stakes balancing act where the safety features are built from strategic restraint, precise targeting, and the unmanned nature of the weapons themselves. The unique selling points of Ukraine's deep strike campaign are what make it such a game-changing and effective strategy. The first and most prominent USP is its profound cost-effectiveness. As mentioned, the price of a modified long-range drone is a tiny fraction of the value of the aircraft, fuel, or air defense missile it destroys or forces the enemy to use. This creates an unsustainable economic drain on Russia. The second USP is its unparalleled psychological impact. It brings the war home to the Russian population in a way that news from the front never could, challenging the official narrative of a limited special military operation, and creating domestic pressure. The third USP is its strategic forcing function. It compels Russia to divert critical resources, fighter jets, radar systems, and anti-aircraft batteries away from the active combat zones in Ukraine to defend its own vast territory. This directly aids Ukrainian forces on the front line by degrading the enemy's offensive capabilities. Finally, its unique selling point is its demonstration of technological ingenuity, proving that a nation can innovate its way to a strategic advantage, inspiring other nations and setting a new precedent for modern warfare. The price of implementing and sustaining this deep strike capability, while economically advantageous, is not zero. The financial cost involves the research, development, and manufacturing of these specialized long-range drones and, in some cases, the use of scarce cruise missiles. This requires significant investment from the state budget and funds from international allies. However, when weighed against the price of not acting, the continued bombardment of Ukrainian cities by missiles launched from safe havens deep inside Russia, the slow erosion of national morale, and the unchecked economic functioning of the Russian war machine, the cost-benefit analysis becomes overwhelmingly clear. The price paid for these weapons is an investment in shortening the war and saving countless Ukrainian lives on the front lines. It is a strategic expenditure designed to impose a far greater cost on the adversary, making it one of the most efficient and essential uses of military funding in the entire conflict. The ultimate price of inaction would be national survival, and in that context, the cost of these strikes is not just justified, it is indispensable. In conclusion, Ukraine's campaign of striking deep into Russia represents a masterclass in asymmetric warfare and has unequivocally become a central turning point in this conflict. It has broken the paradigm of a one-sided war of attrition, demonstrating that a determined defender can reach out and touch an aggressor no matter how large their territory. This strategy has rebalanced the scales, inflicting tangible economic pain, creating strategic chaos, and breaking the aura of invincibility that the Kremlin sought to project. It has provided a massive boost to Ukrainian morale while sowing doubt and fear within Russia. By leveraging innovation, audacity, and precise intelligence, Ukraine has not only changed the facts on the ground, but has also rewritten the psychological map of the war. This is not merely a tactic, it is a fundamental component of a winning strategy, proving that in the face of overwhelming force, the clever and the brave can find a way to fight back, turning the aggressor's strength, its vast territory, into a vulnerability. The war is far from over, but the ability to strike at the heart of Russia ensures that the path to victory, or at least to a favorable negotiation, is now a tangible possibility for Ukraine.